this is definitely, in my 26 years of boxing, this is definitely the hardest and most challenging promotion that I've ever been involved with. Changing the venue twice, actually 3 times. The television platform, going through numerous opponents, but we pulled it off. You know, I had a strong support team outside the ring. Triple G has his team in the training camp, and he did his job inside the ring, and I know he's got a tremendous amount of respect for Vanes, the way he fought, the way he carried himself throughout the whole promotion. I made a point during the promotion that it's very rare to see a champion going to the challenger's gym. That's how much respect Triple G has for Vanes, the fact that he took this fight under the conditions. HBO agreed to show it, but it wasn't, you know, their standard agreement that we have with them. So, you know, all the way around, we have to thank everyone that was involved in it. So, with that, Abel Sanchez is up here. He's been Trainer of the Year now a number of times, and you know, any questions you have for Abel, myself, or Triple G, we'll be happy to answer them. Dan.
Can I stay back? Yeah. Congratulations on the win. And Abel and the whole team. But I wanted to know from you, we talked about it the other day in your hotel when we were there with some guys about this was number 20 in defense. Can you give your reaction and your thoughts about how you got Hopkins and all that in the way and Tom and people going to China also?
Oh, this is a huge situation for me, you know, just seriously, this is the record. Probably, maybe I'm not understand 100% right now, just maybe in the future. You know, maybe my sons, he tell me, hey, wow, this is huge, you know, just all fans. Just seriously, my brother Max, so many people sent him message, said just congratulations, just your record is huge. Thank you. Thank you people who support me and support boxing, of course.
Abel has a little more historic perspective, I think.
Well, I think that, well, first of all, we're very proud of the fact that he's accomplished this. It's been a difficult road. It's been at times a trying, very trying times, but to tie the record with this kind of performance, I think signifies the greatness that we're all witnessing right now. This reign, or these 20 have been with no rematches. These 20 have been against completely new opponents every time. And I think it's significant and it's important to note that.
I agree. I agree 100%. You know, Bernard Hopkins is legendary. He fought as long as he did, and one of the longest careers in the sport of boxing. Tremendous physical specimen, and for Triple G to tie his record, what he accomplished in the middleweight division, I think most people thought that record would never be touched. Now for Gennady to tie it, and you saw his hunger, his motivation. I think he was happy to just be in the ring. He wants to stay active. He told me he wants to fight 2 more times this year. So Triple G fighting on a regular basis. That's very hungry, motivated. He just turned 36. 26.
I feel like 26.
He looks like 26. He just turned 36. And the way he fought in there, he fought like he was 26. So I think if he continues these type of performances, we're going to see many more knockouts, many more fights, and I think he's going to write history every time he steps in the ring. Kevin?
Gennady, the other day you talked about, you said you put a 10% chance of fighting Canelo in September. Now tonight in the ring when Max asked you, you said absolutely you would fight him. So is it 10% or is it absolutely that you're going to fight him?
Okay, 10% is a lot for this situation. Seriously, I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to fight May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. You know, I'm ready 100%. I give him a lot, you know, options. Look, my situation and Canelo's situation right now, just, you know, just I give him a lot percent. You know, just I think nobody have more percent. Maybe like everybody has like 5%. You know, of course he is my priority.
Do you feel like, have you been, the hair follicle test that came out, do you believe that he didn't cheat, that it was contaminated meat, and are you over that, or do you still think he was cheating and took PEDs intentionally?
I think what we should do, Kev, is since the Nevada Commission did their investigation, we're not really privy to all those. We know he did a hair follicle test. We know he's tested many times since his 2 positive tests. But, you know, anything else would be speculation on our part. I mean, Abel, you know.
No, absolutely.
So, Tom, he has been very adamant about this, and it's not you know, you've been outspoken, Gennady, about your opinion, so I think it's fair to ask you what you believe. Other people said what they believe, and you know, now that this fight is over and that fight is out there for you, do you feel he cheated, and would you fight him given that?
Of course I believe, of course I want, just my job is very small, you know, I'm a fighter. Of course I'm ready.
To go, Kevin, to go to that 10% question, you know, that's when reporters were asking him, he's training to fight Bonas, and they're saying, well, what percentage chance are you going to give to fight Canelo? He's focused 100% on Bonas on Saturday, so naturally he's going to say, you know, that's his priority. You know, look, the rematch with Canelo is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. Both of them made career-high paydays. We set the record for the 3rd highest gate in Las Vegas. You know, that's the type of rematch. Some rematches go downhill. This is a type of rematch, as you hit on, with Canelo's positive test. Gennady was very outspoken, but he felt disrespected. He was the one that, because of Canelo's test, now all of a sudden his whole situation changed. And most likely, the odds were against him fighting May 5, and that would have been a disaster for him. So that's why he was frustrated. He was very edgy. It was during the middle of training camp, and he was outspoken. But you saw Canelo's reaction to some of Gennady's comments, and that whole promotion hit a fevered pitch. You know, people, after it looked like the fight wasn't happening, people were still buying tickets. You know, the MGM was calling me and saying, you know, instead of refunds, people are still buying tickets. So, you know, the ticket sales were on pace to break the number that we did on the first fight. Pay-per-views, interest, HBO said it was a much higher interest level than the first fight. And then we think if that fight happens, it's not a guarantee, but if that fight happens, it'll be a much bigger fight even than the second fight, especially if Canelo decides to fight in the second fight, like Abel said.
Tom, just to add one more thing, ask a question. Derevchenko's situation, the IBF belt, Gennady, can you address fighting him as opposed to Canelo, because you may lose your IBF belt if you don't fight him?
I think that's another question for the promoter. We filed, the IBF granted our request for exception for, it was specifically to fight a non-sanctioned opponent. Bonas wasn't in their ratings, but Derevchenko is not in any other ratings either. He's in the IBF ratings, but not in the WBC, WBA ratings. And Bonas was #1 in the WBC, so they granted our exception with conditions. Some of the conditions need clarifying, so Pat English on Triple G's behalf filed an appeal of that, not of the ruling that they granted for him, but of the conditions. We need to clarify the conditions because some of the conditions actually go against their existing rules. So once we get the response from the IBF, then we'll see what happens with that. I mean, Gennady is proud of all of his titles. He doesn't want to lose the IBF title. He worked hard to gain all the titles. You know, we'll see what happens with Canelo. We'll see what happens with the IBF, and then we'll probably have a better answer within the next week or 2 weeks once the IBF answers that appeal, and then once we see how the discussions with Canelo goes.
Gennady, over here. So with the results tonight, the impact that you had on the ring and everything, is that the message that you're trying to send to Canelo if eventually one of those 2 fights that you want to fight this year is with him? Is that the message that we're learning from you tonight?
No.
I
like my job, you know, it's my job.
So you're not sending a message to Canelo?
No, because, you know, if I send him message, I know he'll fight.
Esta pregunta es por favor para Abel y si le puedes preguntar a Golovkin y traducir. Creo que lo más importante para ustedes era no perder el entrenamiento, seguir con el ritmo rumbo a lo que esperamos todos, esa revancha. ¿Qué significa para ustedes haber peleado y no perder ese ritmo como equipo?
Gee, it was very important for us not to lose the training that we were doing. It's very important for you to fight and do this for the fans. What do you think you gained by fighting tonight?
First of all, I want to tell congratulations all people, Mexican people, like Cinco de Mayo, to a huge day. Seriously, like boxing fans, you know, I come back, just I bring my KO records back. These people love it, this situation, you know. It's more interesting right now. This is the first step. Sometimes, yeah, I understand. Maybe Vanessa is not world class. No, everybody wants second fight, second step. Of course I want to. It's very important for me and for boxing people, for everything. Just, I'm ready. Just let's do it, September.
Y tú, a ver, por favor, tu respuesta, si eres amable.
No, era muy importante no perder lo que ya teníamos un mes, casi 5 semanas en entrenamiento. Era importante para que pudiésemos pelear 3 veces este año. Si no peleamos el 5 de mayo, entonces ya vamos a pelear a lo mejor nomás 2. Si esperamos a que otros o la carrera de otros nos controle nuestra carrera, entonces no pelear más que una vez al año, y eso es lo que no él lo quiere.
Golovkin, Vanes, according to Vanes, he said that your team told him he was the hardest puncher you faced. How do you compare his punches compared to your other opponents?
Everybody's strong. This is boxing, come on.
If the fight with Canelo can't happen, do you want to face the WBC mandatory Jamal Charlo next?
Absolutely, I'm open for anybody. Absolutely. Just right now it's a more interesting situation in the middleweight division. So many great people is coming. Just more interesting.
Abel, quick question. We didn't get to see a lot of Gennady. Are you happy with what you saw tonight in a short burst?
I think I'm happy with the response we got from the crowd. I think I'm extremely happy with the response we got when we walked in. The fans want to see Gennady fight. It doesn't matter whether it's 1 round or 10 rounds. They just want to see a fight. And Gennady gives the fans what they want to see. Gennady gives them the kind of fight that they expect and not a dance.
A ver, tú estuviste preparando, por supuesto, a Golovkin todo este tiempo para que él se presentó este percance con el perdedor. Pero a modo personal, ¿tú crees que sería fair con los fans de tener esa pelea eventualmente a modo personal tuyo? ¿De tener esa pelea
Canelo?
eventual con Canelo?
Dice, todo depende de él. Hasta este momento no está haciendo ni un test con Vada. Hasta este momento. Y Oscar está diciendo que todos los días lo van a hacer test. ¿Cuándo va a comenzar?